On the 12th of May, we got this email from the Rozelle Interchange Community Relations team saying that changes were going to be made around the Iron Cove Bridge from Tuesday the 18th of May. And this was going to include reopening the shared path for pedestrians and cyclists. And the email went on to say that the permanent pedestrian and cyclist shared path will open between the Iron Cove Bridge and the Bay Run. This completes the permanent pedestrian and cyclist shared paths next to the westbound lanes between Springside Street and the Iron Cove Bridge. The path will have reduced width due to continuing work, blah, blah, blah. Here's what it looks like on a map. You can see Springside down the bottom, going from the bottom left up to the right, which is Victoria Road. And then you can see where the shared path would be from that intersection, heading down towards the Bay Run, or heading up towards the Bay Run, depending on your point of view. Now, of course, I completely misread the email, got all excited, and went around on Saturday to check out the new path. And what did I find? A path saying no cyclists, or a sign saying no cyclists blocking the path. And if I look through the fence up in the distance, I could actually see a sign which was a cycle route marking sign. So I was like, have they screwed up? Have I screwed up? What's going on? Came home, reread the email and went, okay, got to wait until Tuesday. Tuesday came and went, and it's now Thursday, and I thought I'd go and have a look. Rode across the Iron Cove Bridge, heading towards Balmain. What do I find in the same spot? A sign saying no cyclists. So I just went around the sign and had a chat with this lovely traffic controller. Question is, why are they all Irish? Okay, you might not know the answer, who cares? And she had absolutely no idea. I said, look, I got an email saying the bridge was, or this was supposed to be open on Tuesday. The signs are up saying it's still closed. And she said, I don't know. And I said, right, fine. I'll just do a U-turn and go around and have a look at it from the other direction. Well, I went over to Balmain, messed around a bit, and then came back down Wellington Street. And the first thing I've got to say is this is a really bad bit of shared path design where you've got people who are coming out of Wellington Street onto Victoria Road, and then they're kind of going straight across and going into the 7-Eleven Rozelle. Now, I didn't see whether these people were going in to buy petrol or whether they were using the 7-Eleven as a way to cut through to get down to the back streets of Rozelle. But this is probably a really good way to get run over. The next thing I noticed is just going down the road a little bit, that they've redone the Springside Street intersection, and what they've done is they've really widened out the throat of the street, so it makes it much easier for drivers coming out to turn left a lot faster, and also for drivers coming down the hill from Victoria Road to take the corner into it a lot faster. Really, really bad design, because what it means is drivers are not going to stop and look properly, either going into the street or coming out of the street. And when you've got cyclists and pedestrians crossing, bad news. They should be narrowing the exit or entry to that street, squaring it off essentially, so that drivers have to come out, stop, look in both directions, and then go. And similarly, when they're coming up to the street to turn into it, they have to slow right down and take the corner gradually. Now, I know I'm getting a little bit off track here, but this article that I pinched those radius diagrams from was published back in December 2015 by a US author. So it's incredible that the Americans seem to be more advanced in this area than we are. You know, they're car mad supposedly, and you know, we're supposed to not be, but they are more focused on pedestrian safety. But to make matters worse, back in January of this year, the then Secretary of Transport for New South Wales, Rod Staples, released this road user space allocation policy. And it's pretty clear about the way road space is supposed to be allocated from now on. So when allocating road user space based on blah, 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 consider all road users in order of walking, and then cycling, and then public transport, freight and deliveries, and point-to-point transport, ahead of general traffic and on-street parking for private motorised vehicles. And aim for the reduction of mode share of private motor vehicle trips within built-up areas. Now, if Glebe's not a built-up area, I don't know what is. But certainly that intersection, well, obviously was designed long before this policy was released by Transport for New South Wales, but it looks to me like it completely contravenes the spirit of what they're trying to get at here. And, you know, frankly, before the Rozelle Interchange project is wrapped up, I'd be going back and ripping out that work that's been done. Yeah, I hate to, you know, waste a bit of money, and redoing that intersection and aligning it with this new road user space allocation policy to make sure, you know, pedestrians going down a shared path have got priority over the turning vehicle traffic. Let's get back on track, shall we? Okay, at the other end of the path, are there any signs saying cyclists are banned from coming down here? And the answer is no, nothing at all. No barriers, no signs. Hell of a lot of poles though. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, about 1 million. So I don't know if they're going to be taking those out. I don't know if they're permanent or not. I wouldn't like them to be permanent. No one likes having poles, you know, in the middle of the path like that. Off to the left here, there are some little pedestrian walkways, so you just have to watch out for people popping out from behind them. And as you can see, like they said, there's still barriers in place which narrow the path a bit, but there was no one using it when I came through, possibly because all the traffic coming up from the Bay Run, people were seeing that there were barriers up, there's signs saying no entry to cyclists, so I guess no one's coming up here. But certainly from the Balmain end or the Rozelle end, it looks like the path is open, that the email was in fact correct, that it opened up on the 18th. It's just no one's bothered to go along with some side cutters and clip down the existing signs. Maybe someone watching this needs to send someone out there to actually, you know, clean things up a little bit.
Come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.